So welcome back. As you can see, I'm at the wall, so we are in for some wall game from Yoshimitsu. Today I want to explain you what I think is the best option after hitting a successful wall combo and what changed about the Oki instead of doing 2-2 into CD1, which a lot of people preferred because the Oki afterwards is pretty brain dead but pretty high risk. And I will show you today what I do after hitting the combo and why I think it's the best option. So as you can see, I go into Dragonfly after hitting my 3-4 into 4. Dragonfly is a stance which in my opinion is offensive wise pretty broken, because the options have very low risk but high reward, and the only problem is that you cannot block in the stance, which is covered by the fact that your opponent is on wake up, and then the stance is actually pretty dangerous. So what I showed you here is doing the 4 option after the opponent side rolled or tech rolled. This is a 18 frame mid which will wall splat them if you're close enough. I give you a tip: if you go into Dragonfly, go 1 time forward and then do it to get them a little bit closer to you, then the wall splat will go up to 80 to 90% of the time. The move is plus 14 even if it doesn't wall splat you in a very good situation, has decent tracking on wake up, and is safe at only being -4. Which of course leads to the situation where flash and Kichu parry are always a threat for the opponent if they try to press buttons afterwards, or you can just step and block, because most people after blocking this trying to sidestep out of the wall, so you just sidestep once with them and see what you do from there. What is also great about it is that if you do this and they try to spring kick, which oftentimes will happen, you will screw them to get a mini combo. There is one better way to beat this, which I will explain later, but it covers 3 options with low get up kicks, because of course it crushes them. And if you do it quick enough, you can even beat mid get up kicks. So it covers a lot of options and should be the first option in your mind after landing a wall combo. The next one I'm gonna talk about is Dragonfly 3. Your low mix-up, you hit it, I mean it's pretty slow at 22 frames, but it is +6 and forces crouch to the opponent. That means that afterwards, if you do down 2-2, it just trades with a dick jab, or if you decide to go for a quicker wall splat, then it's very likely that you're gonna score the wall splat. What I like about this is after that they can only step in one direction, so you're pretty safe there. It's only -13, so in matchups where the opponent doesn't have a I-13 launcher like Eddie or Kazuya for example, it is pretty low risk, and some characters like Miguel or Yoshimitsu himself can only while standing for you when they guess correctly. The good thing is most people that are experienced will stay on the ground when they see you go into Dragonfly, which the 3 option also hits them on the ground with, so you cover 2 options again, and of course on counter hit you get a full combo. Like at the wall you're gonna get your wall combo, you know, but you get the point. Be careful though, this can be interrupted by get up kicking mid, because it's pretty slow. So you have to condition them before with the Dragonfly 4. Now I will show you an option that you use when your opponent barely survived the wall combo and you want to close the round, which is Dragonfly 1. Dragonfly 1 is a 30 frame unblockable, which in the stance most likely doesn't get interrupted because the opponent is waiting for your options and has not the unblocker. It only kills them if they're already almost dead. But what is very important is that it's 0, but it is 0 and leaves them in crouch. So if you hit 2-1 afterwards, there is a very big chance that you will score a counter hit, and this is a very awkward situation which most people respawn in either mashing or sidestepping. And if you get your 2-1 sidestep, it's not that big of a deal because the second hit mostly tracks and forces them to still block it. And not a lot of people do even know that this leaves them in crouch, try to jab afterwards and get while standing 1 instead, which can be very deadly. The next one needs a lot of conditioning before you can implement it, but if you do, you get really heavily rewarded. So Dragonfly 4-2 is a homing move, is a high, 20 frames, which means it's unseeable, but it's +7 on block and leads to a wall splat. So if they try to attack you, you would score a wall splat. If they block this, you're still in Dragonfly, but you're +7. And if they step this, they will get caught by the 4-2 and get wall splatted as well. And if you hit them sidewall, you can sometimes even convert to a full combo by pressing 4. The problem is this is a high, and most people are afraid of the unbreakable grab. So at first they will duck a lot when they see this. So you have to first condition them with this to show toes, and then they will think, okay, how can I evade the grab? I can evade it by sidestepping, even on wake up. And then is where you implement this. I mean, you can also cover it with 4, because on wake up it has some tracking, but not all the way, and this will immediately destroy every stepper. And even if they're very sharp and they step block, you're still +7 at the wall, which is great. And the last option that I of course didn't cover is the option that most people are afraid of, the grab. Because the grab is unbreakable and in this situation very hard to avoid. First and foremost, if they side roll and wake up, the grab doesn't connect clean hit. So what you have to do when you want to do the grab, what you can implement in any type to realign, is hold forward once when they're waking up. Because then the 4 will wall splat most likely instead of just spinning them around, and the grab will realign and you will get a clean hit, which is very important in this scenario. Because if you hit this not clean hit, you're gonna give them a very strange hit animation and they can hit you out of Dragonfly afterwards. But then you of course know that there is the problem. If they see you always going forward, they might spring kick. So you have to kind of play your mind game here and also go forward if you hit the 4 or the 3. You have enough time to do that. And now I will show you the spring kick bait. But one last thing that you have to keep in mind. When you use the grab, you actually put your opponent off the wall. So this should only be done if the opponent is very turtly or if you can kill them with this. I like Dragonfly 3 more, because +6 at the wall if the opponent is not ducking is better for me, in my opinion. Now you will see the last thing that you have to implement. If you do Dragonfly into block, you can actually block immediately. You don't have to be worried about low get-up kicks, because you will crush them with Dragonfly, and mid get-up kick and spring kick lose to Dragonfly 4 if you time it correctly. But if the opponent is spring kick happy, then you want to capitalize on that, cancel the stance, block into flash. A lot of characters have a very difficult time to see what is the appropriate punish for the spring kick, because it varies on the range that like on the frames where the spring kick is blocked. But Yoshimitsu with flash doesn't have to worry about that. And if you press forward 1+4, you will like 98% of the times get your launch. And you should try that because you want the heaviest punish that you can get from spring kicking, so they'll just negate that. They won't do that again. Why do I think that Dragonfly Oki is better than 2-2 CD1 Oki? It's just because you only remember the times when iMusician does stuff like 3 CD1s in a row, right? And you're like, oh my god, and then he does so much damage, that looks so stupid, the opponent looks so stupid. And of course, that is what will stay in your mind. The times where he hits the CD1 afterwards, or the sword sweep. But if the opponent blocks this and punishes you, you actually lose your advantage, you lose your wall game, and in this game, sword sweep is very, very awkward. And there are even characters that can punish this if they just stay up and can still hop kick. Depends. So the layer of mix-ups here are always very risky, and not only can get you losing your wall pressure, either losing that or more likely gonna lose 50% of your health. And with Yoshimitsu, wall pressuring is the strongest suit he has right now. So what you want to do is maximize your wall carry, get them to the wall, and then destroy them there. But if you always go for high risk, there will be a lot of times where you lose your wall advantage and you're gonna get killed for it. So that's why, in my opinion, Dragonfly with the low risk that it has is way better, granting you not as high reward most of the times, but still very good reward. So that's why I use this wall ender, and why I use